We're about to go into the newspapers. I won't say anything about the Daily Graphic. I'm just going to be quiet.
Okay, let's get on with the daily. We're starting with the Daily Graphic. At what time? What time is it?
6:34.
Okay. So on the front page, averting food shortages in schools, Education Ministry streamlines supply chain. And the story goes, the Ministry of Education is streamlining the food supply chain architecture of senior high schools to ensure effective handling of the food needs of the schools. In line with that, the ministry is building a database which will include an automated system that enables the ministry to identify any potential shortages. The Minister of Education, Dr. Yao Osei Educhum, who made this known in an interview with the Daily Graphic yesterday, explained that the database would immediately identify shortage of food supply to any school for prompt action. All right, that's good. If that's going to help the situation, why not? EJURA Committee recommends compensation for families, and the story is on page 16. And we'll be delving into that a lot more, but it just indicates a few of the things that the Daily Graphic is highlighting. The committee, however, did not consider the throwing of stones and implements at the police by the youth as acts of extreme provocation that required the firing of live ammunition into the crowd. That's one of the findings of the committee. But yes, it is saying that the families of the deceased, as well as those who were injured, should get adequate compensation. The committee also found that the death of Mohammed Ibrahim, aka Kaka, and his mishandling were the trigger point for the riots that followed, adding that the maximum application of force worsened the situation. Right. Moving on to other stories. In the Daily Graphic, we go to page 5, where Burkina Faso's ruling party elects a new president. Burhan vows reforms after Sudan coup attempt. Kenyan villagers fight British army in fire case. And Weir's birthday billboards line streets in Monrovia. So it's the birthday. So billboards with large portraits of Liberian President George Weah are being lined up on the streets of the capital, Monrovia, ahead of his 55th birthday on October 1. The billboards being erected by the Monrovia City Council are currently all over central Monrovia and other parts of the city.
It's very serious.
I mean, billboards are being mounted because it's the president's birthday, Liberian president's birthday.
This is Africa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which billboards, money for which billboards would have been used for something else?
But the question is where the money is coming from.
Wherever it's coming from. If it's your birthday, typically when it's people's birthdays, you see the celebs and all that, they would put something together, go donate to a charity or something.
Well, again, I'm usually, on your side, on issues like this. But what if, some rich family, for example, decide that they want to celebrate him, and so they decide to contract a private company with funds that they have had in their family for 120 years and put up billboards, to celebrate the president.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. I mean, they could donate the money to buy a hospital or something, but, yeah. Well, happy birthday in advance to you. I mean, nice one day. Then the party will not be easy if this is the billboards, right?
And it's also, you see, you're in a country where there are a lot of deprived people. The country is poor.
Recovering from war, I mean, yeah.
All right, moving on. SPD seeks three-way alliance to succeed Merkel. UN General Assembly ends today. Iceland misses out on first female majority parliament. And then on page 13, it's an interesting story, making puberty rights attractive. So a queen mother has repackaged Depot. So the paramount queen mother of the Osudoku traditional area, Nana Amponsa Dukia III, is repackaging Depot, the traditional puberty rights, to make it more appealing and attractive to young girls in Krobo in the eastern region. Coming out strongly with Depot rights in a more refined manner for it to adapt to social change in the face of societal challenges and circumstances. and to be appealing to all young girls, she said. And another quote from her: "The fight for every girl child to be educated is a necessary battle, and we should not stop for any reason." Okay, so she's saying that they're repackaging depot, but I still see the show of bare breasts, and all of that. I don't know if that's being ignored.
Whether this is the old.
But over here I see Nana Mponsa Dokia III presenting a parcel to one of the ladies, and she has bare breasts as well. I mean, they decide to maintain their bare breast. Well, that's fine, but if you want to see
some bare breasts,
it's in
page 13.
The 13.
But it's interesting. I mean, I some of these things you feel like are completely outmoded. As much as you want to keep a certain, integrity of our culture and heritage and all of that, you also want to move away, from things that are not necessary.
And in one of the photos, I'm seeing one of the ladies. It's like she has a big belly. I don't know if she has a big belly or she's pregnant. But you don't want to show a big belly like this, do you?
I wear crop tops, so I don't guess that you don't show a big belly. But yes, basically, you don't want to show any of this, Israel. I mean, it's very, very ancient. We want to protect the privacy and integrity of our girls. Yeah. So you can't be talking anyway. I don't know.
All right.
I don't know.
Moving on. Oh, there's an advert in the newspaper.
Yeah, I saw it. The dormant account. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a notice on dormant accounts. So if you have a
ABSA, which used to be Barclays.
Yeah. If you have a dormant account with ABSA, they're saying they're going to publish a list of persons with a dormant account. So you may want to find out, and if you have any relative who has a dormant account there. Then domestic tourism with to sustain industry. That's the Ghana Tourism Authority saying that. And then we have a photo of Marco Krekumanti, the Deputy Tourism Minister, presenting a winner with his prize, Master Bright Latte. In politics, PPP proposes 5 key constitutional amendments and prosecute youth who engage in political violence. Ahafo Chief Imam. And on page 18, confirmation of MMDCs. Withdraw nominees after second round of voting. That's Dr. Vladimir Chidan. So he says that if you present an MMDC, a nominee, that's rejected by the Assembly, just withdraw the person after the second round of voting. This will prevent the imposition of unpopular and incompetent persons on the Assembly. And then 3 Accra Assemblies endorse MCE nominees. And the Futu MCE nominee secures 100% votes. Now, or maybe let me just tell you the 3 nominees, 3 Accra Assemblies that have endorsed their nominees. So the confirmation or rejection of chief executive nominees for metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies in the Greater Accra region began yesterday. Assembly members in the Ayawaso Central, Korle Klottey, and Ablekuma West municipalities unanimously endorsed the nominees for the assemblies. The nominees were Mr. Ni Ejay Teria Korle Klottey, Mr. Mohammed Akwe, Ayawaso Central, and Mr. George Cyril Bray, Ablekuma West. Sex for Freedom policeman remanded. A policeman who allegedly set free a female convict in police cells in exchange for sex has been remanded by a Coast Magistrate Court. Okay. Woman jailed 5 years for human trafficking. And then in regional, Northern Development Authority to host investment summit. Drabinhene builds chapel for Catholic children on 76th birthday. Let's go over that again. Drabinhene builds chapel for Catholic children on 76th birthday. Okay. Nana Uchu Srebo, the Drabinhene. So has funded and inaugurated, the second has funded and inaugurated a new Sunday school chapel for children of the St. Stephen's Catholic Church, Ajabing, in the Ashanti region. Okay, nice. Project to strengthen science, technology, innovation policies commences. Include air pollution control measures in policy decisions. That's the World Bank urging governments. And medicine counter assistance to write certification exams. Okay. Now, moving on. In education, technical students to write WAEC exams next year. That's the Deputy Education Minister saying that. BC results in Amansia West and South improve. Ridge residents cry over refuse burning. Yes, they should cry. Some residents around the Ridge Hospital in Accra have appealed to health authorities to deal with the burning of refuse in the area at night, saying it poses environmental and health risks to them. Ideally, look, you shouldn't burn refuse in any community because, yes, it pollutes.
It really does. I mean, the smell.
Yeah, it will be an inconvenience to other residents.
You know how it is when someone is burning rubbish, and if you have your windows open, and by the time you realize all of your clothes smell of smoke. Yeah. I don't know if that's happened to you before. And some people actually like to put the rubbish in tires and then burn them with the tires sometimes. Because
they say that would make it burn a lot faster.
A lot. And a lot of people just burn things at night too. Like I don't get it. Anyway.
All right. Don't trivialize domestic violence, police superintendent. And, oh yeah, Sunday, yesterday I was saying each day we tend to have some World Something Day. Yesterday we were talking about HIV and the fact that the HIV cases are going up. Well, World Contraception Day was on Sunday.
Right.
Yeah, and yesterday I saw a float where they were giving out condoms, and there's an advert here. As we celebrate World Contraception Day, UNFP applauds the Ministry of Health, Ghana Health Service, and partners with the continuous efforts towards ending the unmet need for family planning in Ghana. And they have, some of the contraceptives you can use. There's female condom here, in IUD, male condom,
oral contraceptive, and injectables.
So choose whichever works for you. And let's keep the population in check. New initiative to support SMEs. Now, through technical and managerial interventions, mentorships, coaching, and direct funding, the program will move SMEs into investment readiness and support their integration into competitive global value chains. Abatime residents worried about rampant arson attacks. Oops. President meets ministers over second-term agenda. As of press time yesterday, President Akufo-Addo, who returned earlier in the day from a one-week trip to the United States for the 76th United Nations General Assembly, had met 14 of his ministers. NCC boss laments neglect of cultural values. That's the National Commission on Culture, NCC. EPA board charged to develop strategies to protect the environment. MTN donates, Ghana donates to Otumfuo Education Fund. Thank you, MTN. Release funds to complete from Plains Hospital. And then UK recognizes COVID-19 vaccines administered in Ghana. That's a British High Commission saying that. And to that story, so the point that the British High Commission is making is that the issue doesn't have to do with the vaccines. It has to do with the certification. Because people carry these vaccination cards, and we can't be sure whether it actually means that they've been vaccinated. That's a point they're making.
I get what you mean.
I've actually been told that people who have obtained some of these vaccination cards without
being vaccinated, which is very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. So I get that. Okay.
All right. Lands Minister commits to weed out illegal mining. And in graphic business, big push for 2022 budget. Benefits from 1 billion free IMF money. And we're just about ending. So in sports, Azakia's ladies coach ready for any team. Amuzu wins CBG Golf Challenge medal. Nephew Cynthia win MTN Ashanti First Golf. And 8 promotions to stage 4 title bouts on October 16. Rival gives Wola Court Black Stars debut call-up. That's okay. So that's a goalkeeper. All right, he's a 25-year-old Swindon Town player, and he's going to replace Ghana's first choice goalkeeper, Richard Ofori, who has been overlooked by Seven Gaffer for his poor showing during the last game against South Africa. Okay, and finally, Total donates fuel to fire service. And Takrady kidnapped woman granted 50,000 CD bail, except we're learning that she still isn't out because they were not able to meet the bail conditions.
Right.
All right. So that'll be it for the daily graphic.
15 minutes.
15 minutes?
Yes.
Oh, for real?
34, actually 16, 34 to 50. 16 minutes.
Yeah, but as
but now we
keep
have
saying,
10 minutes left.
But as I keep saying, you have less time.
I'm going to do the daily graphic tomorrow.
Okay.
So that we see if it's just you who likes talking a lot. Or anyway, let's move on to the Ghanaian Times. Police deploy more personnel in Tema, Accra to combat crime. 4 assemblies give unanimous approval to MMDCE assemblies. Nominees, sorry, the EJURA Committee report is out, like we've said, to bereaved families to be compensated. A lot more on that coming up on the show this morning. We will go in depth into that report and so that we can help all of us understand it better, what it means and what the implications are. More Nigerian students have been freed after ransom payments, and hundreds of aid trucks are stuck in Ethiopia. So there's a food situation in Ethiopia's Tigray region, and remember that there are conflicting claims about why supply trucks are stuck there. Well, the supply trucks are stuck, hundreds of them, carrying, aid and food and all of that, trying to get into Tigray. Wow, and they've been there for about 2 months, and it's not clear why. There's no free flow of these trucks and the aid. Okay, teenager among 5 killed in Colombia shooting. Chinese tech executive freed by Canada comes home. German center left claims narrow election victory. Other stories in the Ghanaian Times. Police to deploy more personnel in Tema, Accra to combat crime. There's actually been, which is actually really good, there's been more presence of police around. I'm not sure. Have you noticed?
I've seen. Yeah, I've noticed.
Yeah. I got stopped last night. Just flashing the torchlights in my face.
But I expect them to deploy the people a lot more at night.
Yeah, this was at night.
I mean, like.
Yeah, at
midnight.
Yeah, at night. It was at night.
Because that's when most of these people are. I mean, the criminals are moving about. They've got to rob someone.
And they're going. A few days ago, I was standing outside my house with my sister and a couple of our friends, and police. They passed by the front of the house. They went for it, but they came back. They parked. And they told us to go inside.
Oh, how?
Yes.
Why?
They're like, no, go inside. I was like, wow, like I'm older than you. Right now, he was like, no, and he had a good point, because it was around maybe 11 something, and he was like, it's quite a quiet street. You're standing on the street, it's a group of people, kind of chatting and stuff. But if a gang, kind of just comes up with guns and po, we're very vulnerable, So, yeah, and then last night I got told off again. They're just telling people off and like, won't coffee now, like wow, but good stuff. It's nice to see. There's always a certain sort of comfort in having the police around, knowing, that. In the minute,
sometimes when I set off from the house, I'm sure you would have encountered, I see all sorts of, I'm on the lookout for suspicious vehicles and suspicious activity.
How do you classify a vehicle suspicious, Israel?
Okay, so I see 2 people sitting in a vehicle, and one is behaving in a very unusual manner, like maybe he's hurt or something. He's in pain. Okay, so I would think that maybe yes, they're going to the hospital, but then the direction they take.
It's not. You also know that early in the morning, around the time when we come to work, there's that washing squad who are rushing home.
No, these are
to go and get ready.
There were 2 men. I was quite suspicious.
Okay. It's funny how people are more suspicious of men than women, but yeah, interesting. I think the point really is that just be very mindful and very careful about.
What I actually wanted to do was to, alert the police and tell them that I'm seeing this vehicle. I think it's suspicious.
Sometimes it's just a gut instinct, isn't it? Yeah.
You may want to track it, and they have the cameras.
So
they can monitor.
Then there's also the motorbikes, very late at night.
In one instance, actually, one morning I was coming to work, I saw a vehicle that it actually almost crashed into me. So I had to chase it for a while because it was driving very terribly, and it was moving in an unusual manner. I tracked it all through. It got to a point where it entered some bush.
You were like, nah.
I had to give up at that point.
I didn't come here for that.
But I called the police emergency number and nobody was answering.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's another conversation. Okay. Shall I move on with my newspaper?
Please do.
Okay. My nomination is an opportunity for women to be part of decision making. And this is the DCE nominee for Saulu Tuna Kalba district. And she says her nomination, every time I do talk about stories, I feel so, I don't know. The number of women nominated, I'm just going to move on. Okay. 2 bereaved families to be compensated. EJURA C'ttee Report. 3 other injured persons to benefit. And there's a picture of Kaka on the page 15. May his soul continue to rest in peace. 4 assemblies give unanimous approval to nominees. Deal vigorously with institutions that pollute the environment. Good one there. Trade Ministry unveils Ghana's program of action. Okay. Let me just quickly skim through. Lack of sign language interpreters deny many basic education, of course. World Contraception Day marked in Tamale. Men above 40 years advised to screen for prostate cancer. Israel, have you had your balls checked?
No, not in recent times.
Okay, you must have them checked.
Okay.
BOG keeps policy rates at 13.5%. I love how you answered that with such a straight face.
How else do you expect me to answer?
Yeah, okay.
Yes, okay. You can ask me again. Maybe I
can.
No,
I can't. It's too heavy.
Have you had your balls checked? Yes, I have an M1.
Oh, no, you haven't, actually. Arteta eyes more special. Look at I. You've won one match. Arsenal people, dear. You've won one match, no. You're eyeing more special days. Please. It's not going to change.
Oh, it's not just one match. They won another match. I think they say they are back.
From where? They're dead.
For how long?
Exactly. Okay, back page. Pate Kudus Duncan returned to Black Stars in Milo's first provisional squad for Zimbabwe doubleheader. And government urged to support rural banks. I want to do the daily guide, but I think we don't have time because we have to do myjoyonline.com. But let me just skim through. I bought Silicon Belly for 30 Ghana cedis. And then entertainment news, which is what I enjoy doing from the Daily Guide. Take our pictures down. AMG Armani denies relationship with Ikria Pimpolo. Now, I think this is a great conversation to have. You find that women are posting their relationships more on social media in a bid to claim, this. I had one of my friends, right? She started dating this guy. And obviously she's older and he's older as well. And she posted him and she was like, management are concerned, whose boo is this? And she put it was like a background check, like, if this is your boyfriend, come and claim him as well before the responses were very
before things get down and
exactly.
It's too late.
It's too late, right? Anyway,
okay. The Daily Dispatch too.
No,
I'll be surprised. Just the front page. I'll be surprised if Dufour gets 10% of delegates' votes against Mahama. That's a for Adobo's take. And reconsider Nana if you want to go beyond one term. That's Ben F. Singh advising the NDC.
Okay. Should we go to My Joy Online real quick, super quick? All right. EJURA murder probe committee makes 10 recommendations for government consideration. The licensed sex predator part 1, divorce, rape of suicidal woman. Government.
We're actually showing that.
Yes.
We'll have excerpts on the AM show.
Yeah. we did a bit before the news. So government sued over Kumasi Technical University sale of 9 cars. Takoradi woman in alleged fake pregnancy and kidnap saga gets bail. EJURA murder probe. There was no justification for deployment of police riot vehicle to funeral of Kaka. 2 billion Sino-Hydro deal. Government justifies non-completion of some road projects. We used to play football here. Now our beach is a plastic dump. Choco chokes on plastic. We really need to get our recycling game, up and running. Because if we were recycling, we have. So have you been to the Choco? Actually, I've been to Choco. I've been to Adbogloshi. All these places where they throw the rubber bags and stuff and all of that. And if we were recycling, I mean, it would be fantastic because we have the resources, and we need to stop using so many rubber bags. You buy one slice of bread, it gets put into a white bag, then into a blue bag. Then if you're a rich person, they'll put the black bag and the white bag into a blue bag. It's a lot.
I tend to reject the polythene bags a lot of the time. But yesterday on the conversation we had Dr. Ntiamwa joining us from the US, and she was saying that maybe we should go the way of the developed countries where
the paper bags.
Well, apart from that, if you
come with your own bag.
You come with your own bag. If you want a plastic bag, you pay for it.
I remember when they started doing that in London. I was there at that time, and it was so inconvenient to have to carry, your Tesco bags to Tesco. You have to buy. They had these like reusable bags, but it was good because you know that you're doing something that helps the environment.
Yes.
So, but Ghana here, hey, not today. Anyways, Awakes with the eyelashes is joining us on Zoom this morning for the sports. This is the joy of technology, but we have something for you.